Hi there, Janet Fritz here for Galaxy Girl Creations. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to another day of Kit Conspiracy. And today is Thursday. It is our regular day to post for Kit Conspiracy. So this is my layout. I am documenting the cave train at the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. Not really so much the train, but the fact that we are on the train. And I don't have any pictures from inside or anything like that, but I thought they were cute pictures of me, my daughter, my son, and my nephew. So I thought I'd go ahead and use them on this awesome wood grain paper because the train is wood grain. Now, again, I thought I was going to be using a lot more paper in this series by layering stuff up because I had more paper available to me than I did last week. But this week I ended up going with a lot of mixed media, and once again I'm doing mixed media today. So I am going to use a couple of pieces from MK's shop. Now the pieces are older. She doesn't probably have them in her shop any longer, and she has switched wood that she is working with. The pieces that I have are cut on MDF, but she has switched to a different wood. It's thinner. It's a wood veneer that is about half as thick as the MDF that she had, in case you are someone who has purchased from her and love the wood or her designs, but you wanted them a little thinner. They are now thinner. She's not doing her old designs right now. They are, I don't think most of them are in the shop, but she has new designs up, so you can go and check those out over there. I really loved this signpost. I love the fact that it matches the wood. I also wanted to use some of the gears, so I pulled out all of the gear collections that I have of hers, and I'm going to go ahead and pull a couple of those out. I like this half one. It's going to go halfway off the page, and then I'm pulling two smaller ones to put in the center of this circle, and I really like the way that that looks. It's almost kind of like if you were doing a spirograph with the old school spirograph where you put the pen in the hole and then you use the plastic piece and you draw the circles or whatever. You just put your pen in and you follow the gears around. It almost looks like that to me. So I am going to use this stencil. The stencil is from Pear Tree Cut Files, and they are out of Australia. It is gears, and I loved it, so I went ahead and purchased that. And I am using some Christmas green paper glaze from Picket Fence Studio through it. It is the perfect green to match the green card that you see to the right hand side there that says always be your awesome self. I don't end up using that card. I'm using the card that's blank, but it's the same color of green. So that is why I chose this particular color. And I really like the way that it ends up looking. So I let my paper glaze dry for the most part. It's dry to the touch. And now I am using some black marble dilutions spray, and I'm just doing the packaging technique right over the top of the Christmas green gears. In my video earlier this week, I did the opposite. I put the did the packaging technique first and then did the stencil work, but in this case I wanted my green to be toned down just a bit and to look a little bit worn and dirty like they would if they were in a tool or anything mechanical that uses gears. You know, they get the oil and the grease on them. So that is one reason that I decided to dirty them up a bit. And now I am just splattering some Media Gloss spray from Dina Wakley in Medieval over the top. And then I'm going to use some Distress Oxide spray in Twisted Citron. And the tube on that looks super bright green. And it is a super bright green color in the spray. But when it oxidizes, it is a lot lighter. It's kind of almost like an aqua color. And I know that seems weird, but when you see the close-ups, you'll see it. And it matches so much better than it looks like it's going to match. So, you know, it's always great to have your swatches because you can see what it's really going to look like. It doesn't look at all like what it looks like in the bottle. I am using some Nuvo Embellishment Mousse to alter the wood pieces. And I am using one in a silver color and one in a bronzy color. Let's see here. Let me see if I can get you the names of those colors. I will include all of the names of these things down below in my video or video description box, so that if you are interested in purchasing anything, you will have the names of them. There will be links to most of the ones that I can find on either scrapbook.com or a cherry on top, in case you are interested, and those are affiliate links, just so that you know that. Okay, so this is Gunmetal Gray and Cosmic Brown are the two colors I'm using. And that little weird applicator I'm using, it looks like a marshmallow. It's kind of spongy, but it's more firm than a sponge. And I got those at an expo years ago from somebody who was like an unauthorized Tonic Nuvo reseller and was doing a bunch of demos with it. I don't use them very often, but it was perfect for this because it doesn't pick up any clumps of the mousse, because I didn't want clumps getting in between any of the gears or anything like that. I wanted it nice and clean, and so that little tool helped me to rub it on there. Now I do want to blacken them up a little bit, so I did pull out some paper glaze in Black Pansy, and I'm just applying that with my finger, and it works okay, but it does tend to like rub off, like kind of balls up a little bit. So then I am using some Ranger Archival ink, which is a permanent ink, to go ahead and ink up some of those things rather than just relying on the paper glaze. So I'm liking the way that those came out, and they look really cool once they're on the layout with everything else. Now it does look a little bit like a hot mess right now, but I am going to be adding a whole bunch of other stuff, and a lot of the mixed media ends up getting covered up. That is totally normal with mixed media. If you want it all to show, I don't know what you're going to do. It doesn't ever all show. But I still love the effect of it because it looks a little more grungy and a little bit more worn, and it just adds to the different layers of the layout and helps, you know, I don't want to say it tells the story, but it helps support the story. Lots of gears in there, lots of grunge and stuff like that. So I think it looks kind of cool. I am inking everything up with Black Soot Distress ink just to make them pop a little bit, especially those frames. They were way too clean for everything else that is on this layout already. So I inked up the frames. I inked up the cards, the 3x4 cards. I'm also going to take a distress tool to them. I am not going to distress all the way around everything. I am going to just have little areas that are distressed and worn. And I like the way that that ends up looking also. So you're going to see me do that here in just a moment. There we go. There's my distress tool. And it's kind of a pain to distress these little narrow strips of paper that make the frame, but which is why I only did a few sections here and there. But I like the way that it looks. I like that it looks like there's areas that are like either chipped or worn versus nice and perfect. So yeah, I'm liking the way that that looks. And I am going to pop the circular one and the one at the very bottom up onto some foam tape. I apologize that my camera is a little bit off screen, or my layout's off screen at the bottom here. Hopefully I will get it moved up, or I will get my camera reset up. I must have, when I put my camera in the holder, I must have inadvertently bumped it, because on the last video I was way far down and now it's way far up. So my apologies. Okay, so I am just attaching my two photos together so that I can move them around as a group. Then we're going to go ahead and adhere them to the frame there, so I can cut a little bit of that frame out in case I want to use it somewhere else. I don't end up using it on anywhere else on this layout, but I'll stick it back in with the embellishments in case I want to use it somewhere, because the bottom frame is also going to have a little section cut off of it. So, and there is a circular frame in the chipboard that matches the one that's on this layout. So I thought I'll keep them just in case I need to do something else with frames. I am adding some foam to the bottom frame there, and I'm going to have to cut that frame. You're going to see me cut it because a piece of chipboard, or not chipboard, a wood veneer is going to go across the top of it. So I'm going to have to cut part of the frame out where it is raised up so that the wood can fit. because obviously the wood cannot bend over the top of the foam. Rather than, I could have just gone and removed all of the foam from underneath it, but instead I decided to mark where the wood needs to rest, and then I took that section out. I'm going to peel the foam off of that, and then I'm going to stick that back in. So the rest of the frame has dimension, except for that one little section where the wood is going to go right over the top of it. Hopefully that made a little bit of sense, and I apologize again that I'm partially off screen, but at least you can see most of it. That really is the bottom of the layout right there. You can see that there's only, the gear is only half of a gear. It's not a complete circle, so you are seeing like almost everything. It's just at the very bottom of your screen, and I apologize again. I'm just going to use my acrylic block just to hold everything in place while it sets up, especially since it's on top of mixed media. I definitely have to use liquid glue when there's mixed media involved, because otherwise it just won't hold as well. And so in order to get everything to just give it a few moments to get tacky to the surface there, so it doesn't like curl up and pull away, just putting my acrylic blocks there just to put a little extra weight on it. And I know it doesn't look like those acrylic blocks were sitting for very long, but this video is sped up and they were there for, I don't know, at least a minute. So it was not as short as what you just saw. Okay, so now I am going to go ahead and adhere my wood piece down, and now I am definitely off screen. And again, I am so sorry for that. While I go ahead and adhere these pieces down, I just wanted to remind you to check out MK's channel. She's got some awesome stuff going on over there. I can't wait to see what her layouts look like this week. And I will have a link for her channel in my description box down below, so that you can go and easily find her channel in case you're not already familiar with it. And if you are not familiar with it, you should definitely get familiar with it. I know we both appreciate if you like and subscribe to our channels, and if you leave any comments, we really appreciate that as well. It does take me a little bit of time to get back to people, but I do read every comment and I do respond to all of them. So thank you if you take the time to do that. I do appreciate it. Okay, I'm going to add a couple of these stars to this layout to kind of finish it off. And okay, I pulled out a couple more stars there. That piece that says one of a kind that's at the top there, that is up on some foam tape as well, just to give it some more dimension. That frame in the upper right hand corner is not on any foam because it's behind my photograph, but since the wood has dimension, I wanted to have other pieces have dimension, so that chipboard star and the little saying does that job. So I'm really liking the way that this is looking. I had left my acrylic block there so long, it was kind of stuck to the wood veneer or the circular piece there. So that's what I was doing. I was using my Creative Memories multi-purpose tool to pull that out. And then I did cut down my layout by 1/4 of an inch on two sides. I am roughing up some of the edges. I'm not going all over the edges, but I am having some of the areas kind of roughed up, just like I did around the frames and the 3x4 cards. And then I'm going to ink it with some black soot distress ink, and I'm going to mount the entire thing onto some black paper just to give it a nice border and finish the entire layout off. So I'm going to use a little liquid glue because my paper is slightly warped because I did not take the time to flatten out my paper onto any, like my foam boards. If you watch my channel, sometimes I use foam boards to tape everything down, and that keeps everything nice and flat. And I didn't do that with this paper. So yeah, so adding the black behind it definitely holds it down a little bit better. And then I have these thickers. I don't even know if they're thickers. I don't know what brand they are. But I am making the title say Cave Train because that is actually what this ride is called. It's called Cave Train Adventure. I'm not worried about the adventure portion of it. I'm just calling it Cave Train. And then I've left myself some room to do some journaling on that 3x4 card. And that is it, you guys. Thanks so much for watching. If you have questions or comments, like I said, leave them down below. I will get back to you as quickly as I can. I really appreciate your time, and I hope that you are enjoying this series. So again, links for anything that you see here should be down below for you, so you can check them out there. And I hope you have a wonderful day. I will be back again tomorrow with another video combining Kit Conspiracy with Mixed Media Mayhem. So it's going to have mixed media again. Thanks. I'll see you then. Bye-bye.